On this episode of Street Rat Garage, we will be installing and reviewing the Max Speeding Rod airbag leveling kit and compressor. Will it work on our 2011 Chevy Silverado with 400,000 miles on it? Let's find out. Now these are two separate products that you can buy and you can use individually. You don't need the air compressor to run the airbags, and you don't need the airbags with the air compressor. You can do both of these all by themselves. Or as we're doing here, we're combining these because I want the flexibility of lowering and raising the leveling system by itself. But you can just use a Schrader valve, air these up, and just leave them where they're at. This you can use on air shocks like, air ride, air shocks, whatever you want to use it on. So it comes with a compressor, it comes with a little gauge, you have your wiring, you have your lines. Also over here you have lines, airbags, brackets, hardware, all the fun stuff. So we will be installing this on my 2011 Chevy Silverado truck that has over 400,000 miles on it. And whenever I load a trailer on it, it has a tendency to do one of these numbers. And it throws a toe off, it runs the tires, and it makes driving really sloppy. That's why I've been looking for one of these systems for quite a while. And when Max Speeding Rod stepped up and asked me to review this, it's like, sure, I'll review it. So let's go outside, throw this on the truck, and see how well it works. Okay, so we are back outside and we are ready to start installing our airbag system for our truck. So let's look at these parts real quick and see what all we have. Okay, here's all our parts that we're going to need to install this bracket system and the airbag. So they're pretty much the same. There's only difference is the right side upper bracket and the left side upper bracket. So I already put the left side in just to make sure I got everything right. But this is the lower bracket. It actually goes this way. And this is a cup that protects the airbag. This is the airbag. There's another cup that protects the upper part of the airbag. And of course, the upper bracket, just like that. You put your valve in, you put your bolts in to hold all this together. You put your U-bolt there, and then there's just one bolt that goes in on the other side, and you're pretty much done. So there's instructional videos on YouTube on how to do this all. There's no paper directions with this. I didn't get any, but YouTube has the directions and it's super easy to do, and I'd rather do it watching somebody assemble it on YouTube than try to mess with the paper directions. So much more easier, so much more easy. So I got plenty of line. The airbag system comes with line. The pump comes with line. We can mount this compressor anywhere on the truck and we're going to have plenty of line to plumb it all in. We got our wires, we got our T-valves, and even sheet metal screws and zip ties, and even a little thing right here to cut the line with. Everything you need is right here. Oh, and my little gauge here. This little button right here lets the air out. This activates the compressor to air everything back up. So everything we need. I am going to put a little bit of Loctite on these bolts just because of vibrations, but I don't really think it's necessary. This is a tapered seat screw bolt here, so it should be good, but just in case, I'm just going to put a touch on there. So I'm going to install this thing, then we're going to come back and have a look. Okay, we are underneath the truck now, and I have the airbag already installed right here. So it's pretty simple, just a clamp right here that goes to the shock mount and wraps around there, and a U-bolt that goes over the frame, and then another bolt that goes through the frame right there, and boom, it is mounted in. It's pretty quick and pretty easy to do. So next up, what I'm doing, I am just mounting the compressor right here. So this is underneath the spare tire. I measured the distance in between the bottom of the bed here and the spare tire. The spare tire will sit right about here and sort of protect the compressor from any debris that might fly up. So that's a good thing, and we'll still have a place for our spare tire. Our compressor will be safe. So all I have to do now is tie in the lines and run some power up to our switch panel that I've already mounted in the truck, and we'll be ready to go. And right here is said switch panel mounted right underneath the dash, not blocking our OBD2 port, and just out of the way. So this will be our switch, this will be our deflator, and this will be our little pressure gauge to see how much pressure. We're probably going to go about 100 pounds, I would imagine, and we can adjust that back and forth as needed. So let's wire this in. All right, we got the kit all installed and we are ready to do some testing. So I have my trailer back here and I have a heavy load to go pick up. So before we do that, let's take a quick look, see where I mounted everything, and I'll just go through it with you real quick. Okay, so we're back underneath of the truck, and this is the install right here. Everything is in place where it should be. This is the airbag system, and again, it's clamped down to the lower purchase, spring purchase there. All the wiring and the lines are in. There's the U-bolt that holds it in the top. There's the other bolt that holds it there. Now the compressor, there's the other airbag right there. And the compressor, if you can see it right there, is tucked up right about half underneath the spare tire. And I still have plenty of room to put my whole hand in there without the spare tire hitting it. And it provides a little protection there from the elements. And yeah, everything's hooked up, all the lines are run, all the electrical system is run, and it's ready to go. I already tested it. I went to a car show, and we hauled a smaller car on it, probably about a 3,000 pound car, and it definitely made a difference. But I really want to test this out. We're gonna go get I think it's a 2014 Chevy Yukon that probably weighs as much as this truck, if not a little bit more, and we're going to put that on the back end and see how it handles it. Okay, we are all hooked up and ready to go, so let's put this thing to the test. All right, we are at the pickup point, and let me show you what we will be loading onto the trailer today. It's this 2014 Tahoe, which it looks good on this side, but it's been hit a little bit on the other side, but that's not the important thing. The important thing is, how much will it make our truck squat? That is the question. So let's load this up on there and see how it does. All right, we are ready to go. This is not a light vehicle at all. Like I said before, it probably weighs as much, if not more, than the truck I am pulling it with. My truck's a 2011. This is a 2014 two-wheel drive. So they're close, real close. So there we go. A little bit more. All right, let's see what we have. All right, we have our big truck loaded on the back. We have our airbags deflated all of the way. So let's air this thing up and see if that levels out our ride height. Well, yeah, that was pretty impressive. It went right up there. I only put about 50 pounds of air pressure in there. I could probably go up to 100, but yeah, not necessary. It lifted that right on up there. Let's have a look, see what's going on under here. But yeah, they're right where they're supposed to be. Everything looks good. There's no leaks. I hear no noise coming from any of the airlines, and it has all of this weight right on it. And I pulled it up a little bit far just to get as much weight as I can on the tongue, just to see how much. Actually, I might be up a little bit high, but it'll probably settle down, or I can just simply hit this valve right here and let a little bit of that air pressure right back out of there. So nice. All right, let's take this thing out on the road and see what it does. Okay, so I'm about 45 miles into my about 55-mile trip, so only have about another 10 miles to go. We're going back up to Street Rat Garage Worldwide headquarters to drop off the Suburban that we're towing right there. So it's a game changer. I mean, I'm actually able to roll with traffic. We're doing the speed limit, so normally I would be running about 10 miles per hour under the speed limit, and it's actually raining, so that always slowed me down because of overabundance of caution. But with the airbag system in it, it takes all that pressure off the tongue, and it keeps the front end from bobbing around. It plants those front tires back on the ground where they belong. So it's steering great. And there's always a couple bridges that I go over, I've already passed them, that I have to slow down. I have to hit the brakes and slow down right before I get to them, or they bounce the truck all over the road, and it can be very dangerous. I went over them at 55 miles an hour without any problems. I slowed down a little bit on that first one, and it was like it wasn't there. So I went a little bit faster over the next one, and it was smooth. Just like driving without a trailer on the back, actually. So yeah, I also towed, this is not the first day I've had these on, actually. I took a couple other loads in between hooking up the trailer and then picking this up. So this is the third car I had on there, and the heaviest vehicle that I've had on there, and there's no problems. So let's go ahead and get this up to Street Rat Garage headquarters and get it unloaded, and we'll do one more look on these airbags and make sure they're able to hold up to this trip. But we're almost there, and it's doing good so far. So we made it back up here to Street Rat Garage Worldwide headquarters, and it performed just fine. As you can see, the back end is still nice and high, and we don't have any sag on the tail end at all. I mean, that was pretty impressive. I am not sure why I waited this long to get airbags on my truck leveling kit. It works really well. I'm surprised. It makes everything so much easier. You can drive faster, as long as you don't go over the speed limit, of course. But yeah, the front end didn't float, it didn't bob around. It performed well, even with the wet moisture on the road. It made me more confident, and gave me the ability to drive way better, definitely. I actually enjoyed pulling something that big. I usually don't like to pull anything that large, especially in the rain. But yeah, if you want some of these for yourself, I'll put the link to the compressor and the airbag system down below in the link in the description. Go there to Max Speeding Rods and have a look around. They got a whole bunch of stuff, not just the air ride system. They got a lot of suspension parts and other performance parts that you might need for your application. But yeah, really enjoyed this product, so get one for yourself. And that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Street Rat Garage. Until next time.